I completely disagree. I appreciate what you're saying, but I think the good thing is that they didn't really force you to want like one side, in my opinion. They gave the opportunity to see three different sides, make your own conclusions. They weren't really pushing an agenda, from my perspective.
He builds a straw man, creates all these cartoon villains, and then he just knocks them over and says, "Hey, see, this is how it should be. Don't you agree with me?" It's like, come
I
on,
don't know.
that's amateur. See, the thing is, we're picking movies that we want to see. It's not like we're just like really easy on these movies and giving out like really good reviews. I think inherently we're going to give good reviews to most of these movies because we want to see them.
Hey, Mike, good to see you.
What's going on, Sid? Welcome everyone to another episode of Hate to See It with Mike and Sid. We've got another movie review for you this week. We're looking forward to talking about Wake Up Dead Man.
We sure do. Now, do you see what's behind me?
Oh, nice. You got a Hate to See It poster. That's awesome.
I sure did. That's
I
why they
didn't
wanted.
notice it until you just pointed it out.
I know. I wanted to surprise you. I'm all in our podcast. It's all about this brand. So I got this custom poster made. If fans want it, make a comment. You could potentially buy it from us. So let us know.
Oh, sweet,
And,
man. That's awesome. I might have
and
to
then
get one from you.
you should. And then obviously I got a new poster as well. One Battle After Another, my favorite movie of the year.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to see it again for a third time this week in IMAX, 70 millimeter. So I'm pumped about that.
You always talk about how you don't rewatch movies, though. You're
I
one and
don't.
done.
I'm a one and done person, but this movie really did something to me.
Interesting.
So let's get right into it. Let's get into our snack section.
All right, Sid. We've been talking a lot about Mike and Ike the past few weeks.
We
We've
sure
both been
have.
enjoying Mike and Ike. I was at the store and I saw Mike and Ike was on sale, three for $3, and they had three different flavors. They had the
Three
original,
for three.
yeah, three for three.
Oh wow.
They had three different flavors, two of which I've already discussed, the original and the berry mix. Then they also had the 10 flavor mega mix. So I decided I was going to do a comparison of them.
Okay. Tell us about it. How did it go?
The mega mix, I'm not really a fan of. I don't think the flavors blend well together. Like you'll get a bite of two or three different of the candies, and it's just like it's not a good combination. Uh, so that was my least favorite.
It's a mega
Bear
combination.
Berry mix, as I mentioned before, I like it. It's good. That's next on the list. What I would say about that is it's just all berry flavors, obviously. So what you get a bite of that, and it all just kind of mushes together. You get the same flavor every bite. So that's the kind of the only downside. There's not see Mega Mix. The Mega Mix has too much variety. The berry mix, not enough variety. And then I think
Interesting.
the original is really just right. I didn't realize this until I looked on the back of the box. It has the citrus flavors. You got lemon, you've got lime, you've got orange, but you've also got strawberry and cherry. And I think it's just enough variety to be perfect.
It's the right mix.
It's the right mix.
Yeah, this week actually I had a new flavor as well. I had the watermelon flavor, and I'm all about watermelon candy. Like the Sour Patch watermelon are some of my god tier candies. But honestly, it was good, but it was a little too much.
Is
Like
it all watermelon?
it's all watermelon, and with Mike and Ike, you need that variety, right? You don't want that just one flavor because it gets kind of boring.
Yeah. The company, I forget the company's name. They make a few other candies. There's one Hot Tamales, which is spicy candies, shaped the same as Mike and Ike.
I
I've
haven't
had
tried
those,
that.
but not in a while. It's kind of similar to like Red Hots, if you've ever had Red Hots.
I sure have. Maybe I'll give that a
Uh,
shot.
and there's a couple other things that they have, but I think for now, I'm gonna put Mike and Ike to bed and move on to something else for the next review.
Okay, looking forward to it. I always say this is our snack section. It's really a segment. So I need some cues next time to say that correctly. But good job, Mike. Good job with that review.
I definitely didn't notice that you said section instead of segment, and I don't think anyone else would either until now that you pointed it out.
I did point it out.
All right, so no trailers this week, and why do you
Why is
ask?
that?
Because I watched Wake Up Dead Man on Netflix, as most people will, because Netflix gave the movie a very limited theatrical release. I didn't have any any theater showing it near me. So I watched it on Netflix, and there's no trailers. So we'll just get right into the review.
So before we do that, so I had trailers. I'm not going to talk about them, but like this Knives Out trilogy, I love seeing it in theaters, especially during the holidays. So the second one I saw with my family during Christmas. We had a great time, and then we saw this one during Thanksgiving at a new theater I've never been to, but that's what I wanted to do. Again, I saw it in theaters. I love seeing movies in the theaters. I'm all about it. But like you said, we're not going to talk about trailers this week.
All right, Sid. With that, why don't we get into the discussion section segment? I think I should point out that we need to be really careful with this movie, not getting into spoilers until we get into our official spoiler segment, because this is a murder mystery movie and spoilers will ruin the experience. So I think we could talk about broadly what we liked about the movie, what we didn't like about the movie. We could talk about the premise, the setup, maybe the background of some of the
Characters,
characters, but anything more than that, I think we should leave for the spoiler section.
I'm good with that.
All right. So tell me about this movie, Sid. What was your experience like?
So I thoroughly enjoyed it. Obviously, I'm a huge Daniel Craig fan, one of my favorite actors. So anything with Daniel Craig, I'm going to see. So really enjoyed the experience. Like you said, it's a murder mystery. Those kind of movies really entice me because you're trying to figure out the entire time who did it, what was the motivation behind these characters. And I think the Knives Out franchise does a really good job of getting you hooked, getting you guessing, getting you thinking. You're really thinking what everyone's motivations are throughout the film. I mean, I don't generally do that with other kind of movies, but with this franchise, I'm really thinking about it. What about you?
I was disappointed in this movie.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, this is definitely my least favorite of the trilogy. Just to briefly go over the premise of the movie, it's set in a Catholic parish in upstate New York, focusing on a priest played by Joshua O'Connor, who is just transferred there after he gets in a little bit of trouble for punching a deacon. He's a young priest. He's going to be the assistant pastor. And then the Monsignor, Jefferson Wicks, is played by Josh Brolin, who we saw
Yep.
just a few weeks ago in Running Man.
And he's
And,
had a big year. He's been in almost every movie, I feel like.
yeah, so these two characters are very contrasting characters, very
For
different
sure.
styles. So I'll tell you what I did not like about this movie. Uh, First, what I really like about the Knives Out movies is that they have great supporting casts
Like the
and
ensemble.
ensemble casts. And this movie does have a good ensemble cast, but we don't get to know them too well. The focus is very much on the two main priest characters and Daniel Craig. So I missed that from previous movies.
No, I would agree with that. I think the other movies did a better job of really diving deep on the other characters, the other ensembles. Some of them they did a better job in this film than others. Like one of the characters, the woman who's handicapped, I forget her name, but I think it starts with a C. Great actress. I really like her. She's really up and comer. Has been in some great films recently, but they didn't really explore into her character too much.
I
I
totally
was a
agree
little
with you.
disappointed.
I liked her character and I wanted to know more about her. And she really wasn't featured very much.
No, it was disappointing. So I'm in
This
agreement with that side of things, Mike.
The second issue, I have to be careful not to get into spoilers here. I'll just be very vague at this point, but I'll get into this more in the spoiler section. Uh, I think there's a part of the movie at the end of the movie where Rian Johnson is telling us the plot of the movie instead of showing us. I don't know if you know what I mean by that. I'll explain it more in the spoiler section. And movies are supposed to, I mean, they're moving pictures. Movies are supposed to tell their story through the visual
Yep.
medium. And I think there's too much telling going on at the end of the movie. Um, the third, and this is my biggest issue with the movie, uh, this movie has a message behind it. I don't necessarily disagree with the message. I think the message is fine. Essentially, and I don't think this is really spoilers because this is very high level discussion. What the message is Josh Brolin's character represents what I think Rian Johnson feels is modern Christianity in the United States and how it has gone awry. And I think Joshua O'Connor's character represents a more compassionate Christianity and where he thinks it should go. And then there's Daniel Craig in the middle, who actually probably represents Rian Johnson himself, who doesn't really want anything to do with it. But in any event,
What's wrong with that?
What's wrong with it?
Yeah.
Well, the setting is a Catholic parish. And I read an interview with Rian Johnson, and after I read this, it makes so much sense. It makes complete sense. This movie, even though it's set in a Catholic parish, Rian Johnson said in this interview he was not raised Catholic. He was raised evangelical Protestant, and the churches that he went to looked like pottery barns. And the only reason he made the setting Catholic, the main character's Catholic priest, is basically because of the aesthetics. Like, he thinks it looks nice on film. And that makes total sense because none of the characters in this movie are actually Catholic. The only thing Catholic about the characters is the vestments that the priests are wearing. I mean, Josh Brolin is standing up on this pulpit, giving this fire and brimstone sermon. Sounds like something you would hear in the Scarlet Letter. I mean, Glenn Close, a lot of people are praising her performance, and she gives a very good performance in this movie. I'm sure it's exactly what Rian Johnson directed her to do, but she's not playing a Catholic woman that I've ever met. She's playing a Puritan woman from the 1600s. It's absolutely insane.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I agree with any of those comments, Mike.
So what I think Rian Johnson is doing in the movie is he's trying to draw people to side with the Joshua O'Connor character, but the picture that he's painting, the characters that he's created are not real characters. And that's my issue with the movie.
I completely disagree. I appreciate what you're saying, but I think the good thing is that they didn't really force you to want like one side, in my opinion. They gave the opportunity to see three different sides, make your own conclusions. They weren't really pushing an agenda from my perspective.
Sid, the only likable characters in this movie are Father Judd, Joshua O'Connor's character, Blanc, Daniel Craig's character, and then maybe the girl that was the cellist that you mentioned, but they barely explored her character at all. Almost pretty much everyone in the supporting cast is a terrible person.
But that's the whole point. That's the whole premise. It was a terrible priest with terrible people. I mean, what else do you want? I mean, also in a murder mystery, they're not supposed to be likable people. If everyone's likable, we're not going to be really trying to guess who the murderer is. You know what I mean?
But he's trying to do two things in the movie. There's, of course, the murder mystery, but then he's trying to deliver this message. Very clearly, he's trying to deliver a message about the state of religion in America today. And he builds a straw man, creates all these cartoon villains, and then he just knocks them over and says, "Hey, see, this is how it should be. Don't you agree with me?" It's like, come on, that's amateur.
No. I think that's what you wanted out of it. You know, maybe those are some things that you're pushing onto the film. But again, we don't have to agree, Mike. That's the beauty of this podcast. We're not going to always agree. I think it helps have an entertaining conversation if we disagree on things.
All right. Well, I said a lot.
You did say a lot.
Anything else you have to add here on the movie before we get into spoilers?
Yeah. So my thing, and I don't know if they did this on purpose. I have to rewatch the first and second movies, but I feel like it took a little too long for Daniel Craig's character to come into the film.
It took over a half hour.
Yeah, and I was constantly checking my clock. I was like, when is he going to show up? So I was kind of like annoyed with that. Again, I don't remember. Do you remember if that was kind of similar with the first and second?
I
don't think it was, but
I think it was longer. I think it was longer.
Yeah, so that kind of, because he's such a great character. I mean, you have to agree with that, right? The
character
that Daniel Craig plays, he does a phenomenal job with that. So when you go into a movie hoping to see Daniel Craig and you see less of him in the beginning, that was a negative for me. But once he did come on screen, I think him, and again, I'm terrible with names, but the other main priests were fantastic together. Their pairing was really interesting. They really played off each other. I really enjoyed the camaraderie they had. I don't know about you. Did you like the way those two characters interacted?
You're talking about the beginning of the movie?
No. The main character, the main
Oh,
priest.
I mean, the acting performances are great in the movie.
But I'm saying those two specifically. The young priest who goes into this parish and Daniel Craig. I thought they did a really good job
Well,
together.
they did. Well, I mean, they despise one another though. So
I don't know if they despise.
they did not like each other.
No. Wait, who are we talking about? What's the main character's name?
Father Judd,
Yes, I don't think they despise each other.
and you're talking about him and Josh Brolin.
No.
That's
Daniel
why I
Craig.
said. That's what I was clarifying earlier.
All right. No, I'm talking about Daniel Craig. I'm talking about Daniel Craig.
Oh, I thought you said the two priests.
Maybe if I did, that was a slip up.
Okay,
No,
all right. I'll have to go back and see how I messed this up. So you're talking about, yeah, they have good chemistry.
great chemistry.
Yeah,
That I think that's one of the highlights of the film, right? Watching them together, reacting to the other characters. There are some comedy aspects to that throughout the film,
well, that's definitely the best part of the movie,
for sure.
and the dialogue is so good. Rian Johnson is right up there with Quentin Tarantino in terms of writing dialogue in Hollywood right now. He writes an excellent script. There's no question about that.
Did you hear it was because of Daniel Craig that Josh O'Connor's character was given this role?
I did read that. Yeah,
Yeah,
I was not familiar with him, but he was awesome.
so I previously said I love Daniel Craig and I watch every movie of his, but I did not watch the one movie that those two actors were together. I think from that experience is what really pushed Daniel Craig to recommend adding Josh O'Connor to this franchise. So I'm really happy he vouched for him. Because I mean, I don't think this movie would be the same without those two characters and
Oh, definitely
actors.
not. Yeah, I think it would be unwatchable possibly.
And then, before we get into the spoiler section, again, this movie's all about adding pretty famous actors, right, to this franchise. But I didn't really like what's her name, uh, the detective, Mila Kunis.
Oh yeah,
I feel like they just added her just
very
to add her,
random, very
right?
random.
They could have just had a no-name actor
Well,
instead.
I mean, I feel the same way about Jeremy Renner. I mean, you didn't need Jeremy. He had like 5 lines of dialogue. He has a very important role in the movie. Doesn't say much in the movie. You didn't need to hire Jeremy Renner to play that part.
Yeah, so I mean that's my negative with the ensemble cast. I mean, again, I thought most part they did well, but it was the weakest out of the trilogy.
Yeah, agreed.
So should we get into spoilers?
Yeah, let's get into spoilers. So, who gets murdered in this movie? Well, there's a few murders actually.
So Josh Brolin, that's the main thing. And it probably gives it away in the trailers.
It might,
Um,
yeah.
but yes, so that's what they're trying to solve. So he gets murdered, and
During
then
mass,
during mass, yes. And then the main suspect is Josh O'Connor's character,
right?
right? That's
Because
what
he's the
everyone
nearest
suspects.
one.
Yep, he's the nearest one. That's what they want you to think. And I think is it LeBlanc? Is that Daniel Craig's name? What's the character's name?
Benoit Blanc, right?
Yeah, I think he didn't think it was him, right? The whole time, like he
It's pretty
thought.
clear that he knew he was innocent. That was my read of it.
Yeah, I agree. Even though, like I said, it was like the unsolvable case.
Yeah,
Like,
they call it a locked room case or something like that.
yes, yep. But yeah, if it wasn't for LeBlanc, he was screwed, right? I mean, all evidence pointed that he was the murderer.
Right. Yeah, so there's this I guess a little room off to the side of the front of the church that Josh Brolin goes into in the middle of the mass, and Joshua O'Connor is continuing the mass, and then you hear a thud, and then he's fallen over in that room that no one had access to. So
Yep.
that's kind of the mystery of the movie. Um, did you have a suspect early on in the movie?
No, and that's another part of the film. I mean, I said I loved the movie or I really enjoyed it, but it was really tough to pick a suspect. I tried really hard. I was thinking through again all their motivations or potential motivations, but it was not a clear favorite. Sometimes I was kind of doubting myself and thought maybe Josh O'Connor's character did it. They're going to like somehow reveal that he did it, even though we knew he didn't do it. I was worried about that, but no. What about you? Did you have any clear
Yeah,
suspects?
I suspected Glenn Close from the very beginning. I thought
Oh, there you go.
her character was just so over the top, and I saw what Rian Johnson was trying to do with the message, and it seemed like he was going to pin it on her. That was just how I thought it was going to go.
Now, were you surprised? I guess we just revealed it, right? Should we
Yeah,
reveal it? Yeah. I
yeah,
mean, she was the murderer.
she was, and she was an employee of the church. She took care of all the books and everything. She was the organist. She wore many hats,
And
and
she's been around forever.
she had been there since she was a little girl, right?
Yep. I mean, that was her home. She obviously felt very protective, and I think that was the message they were trying to say.
Yeah.
Um, I don't want to go back and I don't want to go talk about the whole backstory about why and all that stuff. Maybe you do, but
We
she
don't need to
wasn't
go
the,
into every
yeah.
detail.
But she wasn't. She it wasn't just her, right? She had hired or convinced other people to be part of her plan.
Yeah, Jeremy Renner gets involved, um, and her husband is involved as well.
Was it a
And
husband or was it like a lover or whatever?
I thought it was her husband.
You can marry in a Catholic church, I guess. I don't know. I don't know
Yes.
religion anymore. Um,
So,
and
and
he's a famous actor too.
yeah, that's Thomas Hayden Church.
Yeah, but I feel like was she taking advantage of him? Like I don't.
Oh, she was totally taking advantage of him. She even says in the
Yeah.
movie, there's a part in the movie where he is going into a coffin, and she says, like, I'm not even explaining. I just know he'll do it because he loves me. He doesn't really need to know why. And he ends up impersonating uh, Father Wick, who at this point in the movie is dead and in a tomb. And he emerges from the tomb dressed as Wick on Easter Sunday,
Wake up, dead man.
wake up dead man, and you know they're Glenn Close is going to make this like a modern day resurrection story.
Because he's trying to save the church in a sense,
Yeah,
and also use that as a deflection behind to conceal what really happened. But you know what's kind of embarrassing, Mike?
and to get that jewel.
Yes, yeah, we didn't talk about the jewel. Maybe we will in a couple seconds. But it was kind of embarrassing. I didn't make the connection why it was called "Wake Up Dead Man"
Until
till
I told you why.
no. A few minutes before our podcast,
Oh,
I,
okay.
I was just doing some studying up on the film.
Yeah, so I was expecting that something like that to happen in the movie, especially since it starts on Good Friday and then we get to Easter Sunday
Mm.
and the movie's called Wake Up Dead Man. It's just like, all right, it seems like but I thought initially that Josh Brolin had somehow faked his death. That's where I thought it was going to go.
Now you mentioned a diamond,
Yeah.
so talk about that diamond a little because that's really plays a major focal point of the film.
Well, I forgot the entire backstory, but essentially, Wick's grandfather, who was the pastor at the church, had the diamond. It was like his fortune.
But before even he got the diamond, I think he had a fortune, and he knew because he was married to some woman that was obviously in it for the money, right? That's what they're trying to convey.
No, he so because in the church you can't marry and have children and be a priest, but there are a few sort of exceptions, and so the grandfather was a widower. He was married, and his wife passed away, and then he
Yep.
entered the priesthood, and he had a daughter. This is the character that they called the harlot whore, the whole movie.
Yes. But they're trying to
And
prevent her from getting the money.
well, he promises her the money as long as she lives with him and, behaves essentially, which she does. And then when he passes away, she gets the inheritance and there's nothing, $0.
But because what he does is, I think he takes all his assets and he buys his diamond.
Right. And it was hidden, I guess.
Yeah. So throughout the film, it's hidden. I don't think we even see the diamond until the end, right?
Right.
Near the end. I don't know if I like that choice or not, but
it was in the grandfather's corpse, right? It was in the
I'm not
tomb.
Mary. Yeah.
It was buried with him. And
Yes.
then
Well, that's how he dies. So he dies in the beginning of the film.
oh yeah, he swallows it, right?
He swallows it. Yes,
Yeah.
he swallows it. He dies. It's in his stomach, and then the whole point is they need to get into that tomb, or Glenn Close needs to get into the tomb. So that's why they kind of fake the resurrection. She has her boyfriend or husband or whatever he is um, go into the casket, go into the tomb. He emerges from there, and then he gets the diamond.
Uh, yeah. So keep going. I lost my train of thought.
No worries. But so at that point, Glenn Close now has a diamond, but things don't always go to plan like a lot of these movies, right? So Jeremy Renner kills Glenn Close's lover
To steal the diamond.
to steal the diamond. So the diamond is meant to be like a corruption, right? It corrupts all. That's really one of the main themes of this movie. And then Glenn Close realizes what he did. So Glenn Close ends up killing Jeremy Renner
Yep.
to get the diamond, and then eventually Daniel Craig and Josh O'Connor's character figure out that she was the one behind this whole thing.
Right. Should we get to the major spoiler at the end of the movie?
Let's go for it.
This was what I alluded to earlier, where I said the movie was telling too much. The movie ends with Glenn Close in church confessing her crimes to everyone, and secretly, without telling anyone, she had taken a poison, so she dies at the end of her confession. I thought the confession was explaining the entire movie, how everything happened. Some of the things that happened we could piece together or sort of come close to piecing together, but some of the stuff is like there's no way we could have figured out that whole scene with her and Jeremy Renner in the basement when she kills him. It's like there's the whole plot of the movie is condensed into this confession at the end.
Okay, I can see your perspective on that. Though I'll say this, I mean, confessions were a big part of this movie as well, right?
Yes, yes, and some of them were pretty funny.
Yeah, especially when the two priests meet for the first time and he's
Yeah.
talking about all the masturbation he's doing,
Yes,
which turns out to be fake.
right, because he can't get an erection.
You truly
Just
hate,
making up masturbation confessions.
you truly
It's
hate to
very
see it.
strange.
But yeah, you know what? When I was watching the film and I was in that moment, I wasn't against her confession, but I can see again your point on why you disliked it.
Yeah.
Oh, but by the way, did you catch the Jordan Gordon Levitt cameo?
I was going to ask you about that because I knew you would know what it was. I didn't catch it.
So for people who don't realize, him and the director are really close friends, and he's had a verbal cameo in all three Knives Out movies. And in this one, he was playing the Chicago Cubs announcer. Because Glenn Close's lover or husband, whatever, he's a huge Cubs fan, and throughout the film, he's watching Cubs games on his little shitty TV. So that's the voice of JGL.
Okay. All right.
So,
That's a interesting little bit of trivia.
and he hasn't been in these movies, right? Like I said, it's all been verbal cameos.
Right. Right.
So you wonder if at some point he will be. I hope so. I mean, he's a great actor.
Yeah.
I would love to see him in the fourth movie.
Rian Johnson had him in Looper, right? That's where they got started.
Yep, fantastic movie.
That's a movie I got to rewatch because I really don't remember much from it.
Bruce Willis, one of my favorite actors of all time.
Yeah. So, yeah, I guess we got through all the spoilers.
How would you rank this out of the three Knives Out movies?
Yeah, this is my least favorite of the three.
Wow.
I think, look, there's still a lot I like about the movie. I think the movie's shot brilliantly. There's this one scene that's going to stick with me where Father Judd is in the forest running toward the camera, and like the light, there's a flashlight like catching up to him. It's just beautiful, beautifully shot scene. The movie just looks great.
It does.
It's great dialogue, funny, very funny at times. The mystery itself, I think, is very good. I think it's one of the better mysteries. I think it's better than the Glass Onion mystery. Maybe not as good as the Knives Out original mystery. But
so for me, it was the original, this, and then the second. That's how I would rank it.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are probably going to have. I think I'm going to be in the minority with my opinion of this movie, but that's okay.
Well, everyone takes something different from watching a film, right? I mean, that's the beauty of films. A lot of times directors don't want to tell you how to feel. It's up to the viewer to see how they feel.
Yep. That's what's great
But
great
do you
about
think
movies.
it hurt your experience watching this at home as opposed to the theater?
I was wishing that I was in the theater. Yeah. And I did find myself pausing too often. I try not
Mm,
to pause, but sometimes you
yeah,
can't help
that
yourself.
yeah, that could hurt the experience.
Yeah. All right.
But
How about we get into the verdict?
let's do it.
You first, Sid.
All right. You love to see it. I would, in our scale, probably I'll give it like I think 3.5 stars in Letterbox is considered you love to see it, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's where I would that rank it. Could go up, but I think after talking with you and discussing it with you, maybe it went down from 4 to 3 to 3.5 because you made some valid points
Okay. Uh,
yourself.
yeah, go ahead.
No, no, what's
Well, you
yours?
weren't finished. I don't think you were
I think
finished.
no, I'm finished. I'm finished. I'm good with it.
Yeah, I would give it I'm going to give my first hate to see it. I hate to do it. I think I would probably give it 2.5 stars.
Okay.
Not a bad movie. I enjoyed watching it. Yeah, for the reasons I mentioned, though, particularly, I just think that Rian Johnson picked the wrong vehicle for telling the message that he wanted to tell. I think if he wanted to tell the story that he told, he should have picked like a caricature of like a Joel Osteen megachurch pastor. I think that would have worked much better than the Catholic setting that he picked. I think it really caught he picked the wrong setting, and I think it really caused incongruence in the movie, and kind of derailed it for me.
Well, that's fair game, Mike.
All right, so that's our first hate to see it review that we've done, or that I've done since we've been back. I think
It'll be interesting to see what's our first together. You
yeah, the
hate to
first
see it.
movie. See, the thing is, we're picking movies that we want to see. It's not like we're just like really easy on these movies and giving out like really good reviews. I think inherently we're going to give good reviews to most of these movies because we want to see them.
Yes, but also we're gonna get to a point during the year, especially when if you subscribe. I hope you subscribe to A List. There's gonna be movies that we see that we generally may not see. I think once that starts to happen, then we might have movies that we don't necessarily love.
Yeah, I could definitely see that happening probably after the new year.
Yep. Yeah. Even
Or
though one of my most hyped movies comes out in January, but yes, it's definitely gonna happen because it happens for me. If I go on my app and I look back on all the movies I've seen with A List, there's definitely been some movies in there that I wasn't a huge fan of. Like I just saw Hamnet. Um,
do you want to give a mini review of that or no?
no, it just didn't do it for me.
Okay,
Unfortunately, I think if we both watched that film, it would be our first you hate to see it movie.
interesting. I know it's going to get nominated for a lot of awards. I may end up seeing it because I know we're going to do like an Oscar episode for, eventually. And it would be nice to be able to talk about most of the movies. I don't necessarily want to see all of them, but I'd like to
Yeah,
see a good chunk of them.
yeah. No, this is I don't know. Maybe you don't like religious films, and there's a lot of
No,
some religious.
I do like religious films. Like I was
You're
thinking
just
of
pissed they attacked the Catholic Church,
no,
maybe.
because I was thinking of this movie called Doubt, which does attack the Catholic Church, which it's a great film. It's with Philip Seymour Hoffman, Meryl Streep. Did you ever see that movie? It came out like 20 years ago. It's a great movie.
I don't remember. I'll have to take a look.
Yeah, definitely check that one out at some point. It's a great film. Uh,
So, what are we watching next week?
Avatar, right?
Yep.
Fire and Ash.
Yeah, I'm seeing it Thursday. I think you bought tickets as well.
Yeah, I have tickets. I'm seeing it on Dolby 3D on Saturday.
Nice. I'm seeing it in Dolby, not 3D.
Okay. Don't you think Avatar is like the one movie you kind of have to see it in 3D?
Yeah, I was thinking about that this morning. I almost went and changed my tickets, but the 3D showing is like 6 o'clock,
Mm.
and it's too early. On the weekdays. I like my late films.
All right. Well, maybe it'll be something you could talk about. I've never seen an Avatar movie in theaters in 2D, so I'm interested how it might change the experience.
Yeah, you're not. I mean, well, I shouldn't have said this, but I think you and I saw the first Avatar together in the city. I could be wrong, but we'll talk more about that next episode.
All right. It was fun talking about Wake Up Dead Man with you, Sid.
Yep. Give us your thoughts. Anyone that might have seen it, let us know if you agree with Mike or myself. But keep on coming back.
Yeah, thanks for tuning in, and look forward to talking about Avatar next week. Take care, guys.
Peace.